Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. It has been quite a while. I mean, we literally posted last week, but about my Scott Pilgrim review. That's like my second favorite movie of third favorite movie of all time. So yeah, but basically, we are going to be talking about a game today. But before we get into that, we're going to talk about a couple of things that have been going on in my life. Um, it's been a pretty rough week. Nothing really bad happened. It's just that you know how you gotta go through a week and let's just say school break is next week, but you have to get through this week. It was pretty slow. It went by pretty slow. And not only that, but I had exams today. Yeah, well, not today. Today's Saturday. But this week, specifically Friday, I had three exams. Three exams. The other exams I was exempt from. The other ones were that the teachers chose not to exempt us from these exams. But, anyways, I am exempt from all of them, so I'll be making. So basically, I'll have like a week, like a third week of break next week. So I'll be making a short film based off like an Indiana Jones ripoff type situation. It's going to be comedic. I don't know how funny it would be, but I am working on it. But, anyways, other than that, let's get into this. I cannot talk today. Let's get into this video. So, the game we're going to talk about is bioshock 2. I also have the bioshock collection right there, if you wanted to see it. But bioshock 2, we're going to be talking about this one. bioshock 2 is a really good game. It's actually on my top 10 favorite games of all time because of how much I enjoyed this game, and it's just really good. I'll be getting into that in a little bit, but we're going to have a little bit of the backstory of this game. So let's get into it. First off, the guy that made the first game, Kevin Levine, the big brain. I think I pronounced his last name wrong, but I don't know. He wasn't brought on for this project because he was working on the prequel Bioshock Infinite, and he just didn't want to make a proper sequel to Bioshock 1 because he felt it was more of a duology. But I think he considers this game canon to the story as well because it finishes off Rapture's story. But, you know, that's really it. So they brought on another director to work on this guy. I forgot his name, but he's he did really good with this game. So this game was made by 2K Marin, not Irrational Games, which is Bioshock 1 developer, and they wanted to make the initial idea was that they wanted to make a Silent Hill type game where a little sister goes back to Rapture, but the execs actually told the director that they wanted this franchise to be as big as Call of Duty. That is a horrible idea, but anyways, the director was like, "My God, why? Why was I chosen for this project?" But the only thing they really added that's kind of Call of Duty like was there was a multiplayer where you could just shoot each other. That was really it. I can't play it because the servers have been shut down for like a really long time, so I do not know. But we're just gonna go through. But they decided to make this game about the story of Delta, aka Subject Delta, and he is a big daddy. I know that name sounds really weird, but that's what they're called in this game and the last game, so just gonna go through it. He is basically a big helper type thing that helps his little sister or like his, daughter, Eleanor, you know, get Adam out of people so that she can become superpowered and all. Well, not superpowered to store Adam, but it's just a thing. And but Sophia Lamb, the main villain of the game, basically mind controls him with this special I don't, I don't know. But she throws it on him, he can becomes mind controlled, and she forces him to shoot himself and die. Pretty dark. But around 10 years later, he wakes up revived and he has to go find Eleanor throughout the ruined city of Rapture because the last time he was alive, Rapture was still grand. It was still alive. And now it's just destroyed now, just like in BioShock 1. But this game takes place around 10 years after BioShock 1, so everything is more ruined. Like, the floor has a lot of barnacles. stuff is more leaking through the ceiling, everything is destroyed, all of that stuff. All of that is in the game. And we're going to talk about the combat. Well, not yet. So then we're going to talk about the art direction. Again, this takes the Art Deco from the first game. And if you don't know what Art Deco is, it's basically like the 1950s version of like rich lifestyle, if you could think of that. If you look up Rockefeller Center, that's what it looks like. That's the style of Art Deco. And basically, this is like what I like to call ruined dark not dark echo, what the heck? Shoot, crap. But anyways, this stuff, as you can see from the main logo, that there's a lot more barnacles. This city is ruined by years of ocean, buildings collapsing, because Rapture is in ruins. It's no longer a live city per se. But we're gonna move on. But the art direction is really beautiful. I like the look of abandoned things, like weirdly. Like, I like the look of abandoned houses because I just like the plants growing on it. Like life reclaiming what was there. And I kind of like that. But anyways, we're going to move on to the gameplay. The gameplay is, like, quite simply way better than the first game. Way better than the first game. I promise you that. Basically, instead of, let's just take in mind, like, let's just pretend I have a controller here. You know what? I'm gonna go get it. So again, like I was going to say this. Basically, what the control system is for the first game, and I'm going to use this controller as an example. You would have to click, like, specifically this trigger one time just to switch to use a plasmid, and maybe switch with the D-pad, or like press. I think the D-pad. Maybe this button right here, but you have to press that button to, like, choose a specific plasmid to use. But, or power to use. And then if you want to use the gun, you'd have to press this trigger right here to switch to the gun. And that's just kind of a waste of time. Like, I'm not lazy. I'm not trying to be lazy. But I wanted to be a lot more quicker, so I don't have to wait a long time just to, like, just quite simply just do this. Quite simply. And now in the second game, they improved it a lot quicker, because instead of one hand on the screen at all times, where you could just switch it like that, the game is like this, where the hands are on the screen at all times. So you can, electrify an enemy and then bonk it on the head with a wrench. Well, not a wrench, a drill. Or you can just use a gun and shoot it. That's way faster. And I really like this control scheme. It's way better with this type of control scheme. Like I said, why am I saying it a bunch of times? But it's way better with this rather than just, or I could just do this. And that's way faster. And I like that. But other than that, all around, this game is really good, and I really recommend it for people to play this game, because this game is such an underrated masterpiece with its themes, its story, its gameplay, its look, its everything about this game is weirdly perfect for a sequel. And sure, the story is not as big or lore heavy or, like, as great as the first game, but itself is still a great story about a father figure trying to find his daughter in this wasteland of a city. And I really like that story. It's just really, like, motivating in a way. But other than that, that's pretty much it for this YouTube video review. Uh, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your weekend, and I'll be seeing you next week whenever I'll post that comedy short film I will be working on. But other than that, that's really it. See ya. Also, like and subscribe. Don't forget.